This macaroni and cheese pie recipe is going to be fantastic. Just like my quesadilla pie, this is a bit of an experiment, but honestly, I think it's going to turn out really well. I did a Google search for macaroni and cheese pie, and honestly, what I found looked just like baked macaroni and cheese, Southern style. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I am the pie guy of YouTube, so why not use an actual pie crust? Here I have one 9-inch pie crust that is unbaked. This is homemade, but of course you can use store-bought. I didn't prick it, I didn't do anything. It's totally raw. Over here I have 4 ounces or 114 grams or 1/4 of a 1-pound bag of cooked whole wheat elbow macaroni. I turned some water on to high. I brought it to a boil on high, gas mark 6 out of 6. Added a bit of water, added a bit of salt to the water. Boiled it on high, 6 out of 6 for 8 minutes. Then drained it and mixed it with half a tablespoon of butter. For the cheese, I'm using 1 block of mild cheddar and half of a block of sharp cheddar. I would have used extra sharp, but I have sharp on hand. I put aside 100 grams or half of an 8-ounce block, a mix of both for the topping, which I'll get to. And just like my southern mac and cheese casserole, I'm making a custard. So I'm going to use half a cup of whole milk. I usually use evaporated, but I wouldn't use the whole can, so I said, why sacrifice a whole can? Half a cup of whole milk, or if you want to use half a cup of evaporated, that's okay, along with 1 egg. I'm going to spice it up a bit. Half a teaspoon each of garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. I might do an extra 1/4 teaspoon each of the spices for the topping. We'll see. And along with the 100 grams of extra cheese, the 4 ounces approximately, I'm going to use 1/4 cup or 60 grams of sour cream for the topping. Like I said, this macaroni and cheese pie is super easy. All you have to do is assemble the mac and cheese inside of the pie. So I'm going to put down a little bit of cheese. And honestly, unlike tomato pie or something that has, this does have some liquid in it from the milk, but it's not like tomatoes that are really watery. I don't think it's absolutely critical to get the base of the pie fully covered in the cheese. I think everything's going to melt together. I'm envisioning 2 layers of macaroni, so I'm going to do half of this in here and spread it out. Here we go. And can't forget my spices, of course. Mix these together. And now for the spices. I'm going to add about 1/3 of the spices that I have in this little bowl to the first layer of pasta. Even though adding spices to mac and cheese might sound a bit odd, trust me, it's absolutely phenomenal. And then some cheese on top of the first layer of pasta. Although I could put the custard in now, and honestly I think it would be totally fine, I'm going to wait until I have everything done except for the topping layer, because I just don't want to have a lot of liquid sitting in this. I don't want it to leak. Honestly though, like I said, I think it would be okay. I'm just erring on the side of caution. Now for some more spices. Honestly, I probably could have added a little more cheese to the bottom layer, but that's okay. I think I want a nice thick layer of cheese on the top, so if I add some of this to the topping, it'll be okay. Now for second part of my pasta, my macaroni. Now pretty much all the cheese except for the half of a block that I'm going to put on the top as part of the topping is in the pie. I'm just going to finish seasoning the main part of the macaroni and cheese pie. And now for the custard. I just put my large egg into my half a cup of whole milk. I'm literally just going to pour that down over everything. Before adding the final topping, make sure that what is already in the pie is firmly packed down. Also, if you feel like one area might not have enough cheese or one area doesn't have quite enough pasta, now is the time to arrange the filling. Like I said earlier, for the topping, I'm using half of an 8-ounce block of shredded cheese along with 1/4 cup of sour cream. I'm also adding a bit more spices, 1/8 of a teaspoon each of black pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder, just to give it a bit extra flavor. I also wanted to point out that I'm using full-fat regular sour cream for this. Unfortunately, I don't think that a reduced fat, especially a fat-free sour cream, would work well for this. Just going to put it on like this. Little, for lack of a better word, globs here and there, because it will be easier to spread out little globs or little piles of topping than one big amount in the middle. Another reason why I packed everything down is that it's very difficult to spread something on a surface that is loose, but if the surface is more firmly packed in, it's easier to spread something out. Although you definitely could just sprinkle the remaining cheese on top of the pie, I think that the sour cream topping is going to add a ton of flavor. I got the idea from my southern tomato pie recipe. If you haven't seen that video, be sure to check it out. And that pie has a topping of cheese and mayonnaise. Although I admit that it does sound odd, it's actually really good. The tanginess of the mayo in the tomato pie, or in the case of this macaroni pie, the sour cream, adds so much to the dish. What's interesting is that if you research some southern mac and cheese recipes, you'll see that some of them include sour cream or cream cheese. So, considering that there are already a lot of tried and true baked macaroni and cheese casserole recipes calling for a tangy ingredient like sour cream or cream cheese, that should help reassure you that I haven't lost my chef hat. I finished evening out the topping. Now my macaroni and cheese pie is ready for the oven. My macaroni and cheese pie just came out of the oven. It was in at 350 uncovered for 40 minutes, 40. This mac and cheese pie looked magazine picture perfect. The top was perfectly golden brown, as was the crust. I couldn't wait to try it. Honestly, this macaroni and cheese pie was one of the best recipes that I invented this year. I did a bit of research and it seems that there's a macaroni pie from Trinidad in the Caribbean and something similar from Scotland. But at least from what I saw, I don't remember seeing macaroni and cheese casserole inside of a pie shell. And honestly, I think that that is what made this so absolutely delicious. The buttery, flaky pie crust, the cheesy goodness, the extra spices that I added, and of course, the sour cream topping. Together with the delicious whole wheat pasta, this macaroni and cheese pie was absolutely indescribable. If you don't want to make a pie and you just want to make a normal baked macaroni and cheese casserole with these same ingredients, you definitely could, but honestly, like I said, I think the pie crust definitely added to this. In addition to the incredible flavors, I was also really pleased with how this looked. The pie crust was golden and the cheese and sour cream topping was brown and bubbly without being burned. The filling was packed firmly down into the pie shell, so cut slices held their shape perfectly. But even though the filling was firm, it didn't taste overly dense. Also, the milk and egg custard didn't seem to leak or boil over anywhere. So like I already said, this macaroni and cheese pie recipe turned out magazine picture perfect. Baked mac and cheese casserole is a favorite on many Thanksgiving tables. However, if you want to try something different that still looks and tastes traditional while still also being different, this is for you. It's super eye-catching and it would definitely be a conversation starter on any Thanksgiving table. Honestly, I think this would also be good for Sunday dinner or light lunch at any time of the year. If you make it, I know you'll fall in love with it at first bite, just like I did. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.